if you're averaging 10 points in high school and you're getting offers from Duke and Kentucky and Kansas, it's probably because your dad is LeBron James.
Hey, you. Welcome to Mad Sports. Let's get started. Over the last little while, we've seen this player like kind of grow a little bit, like size-wise. He's gotten bigger. He's gotten better at just kind of everything. Do you think right now that Bronny James should be a top 10 pick? Like,
No.
like, because we have talked about it before where we've said, like, no, he's not really that good. Like, he's good, but he's not really that good. But it's LeBron James' son. That's why he's a top 10, or that's why he's going to be a top pick. And he's only going to be a top pick because LeBron James said,
Yep.
I will go and play. Or he said, I have to play on the floor with my son before my career is over. So by the time his son is in the league, it'll be his last season with the Lakers. It could be his last season with the Lakers. So he'll be a free agent.
Even if it's not, he can
sign wherever he wants. And wherever he goes, he will go. Like wherever Bronny goes, they just won the lottery because not only are they getting Bronny, who is decent, they're getting LeBron.
Where's he playing right now?
He's in high school.
Sierra Canyon.
So obviously LeBron James was a freak in high school. Kobe Bryant was a freak in high school. But
it's just like
when we say that like.
Like basketball is so different in high school now. Like they're
football,
not.
Yeah, you talk about Archie Manning, right? Like you have the Manning nephew that's coming up, and people are
raving.
No, not even raving, or being very hypercritical, whether it's good or bad, of a high school player.
Yeah.
Right. So do you feel like we're running into the same issue with Bronny, where it's like, okay, yes, we understand that his dad was a freak. There have been people who in high school who are freaks, but that doesn't mean that like over the next few years he can't improve and become
I think
top
basketball
player.
might be one of the I'm not saying it's easy, but I think basketball might be one of the easiest sports to go from one level to another level to another level to another level.
Yeah.
And just like make
obviously
the transition.
from college,
you're
it's
playing
hard
against
still.
skilled players regardless, but I think going from high school and then going and playing in college, like I feel like it's.
You think? Are you trying to say like you don't think that the skill level really changes that drastically?
Not to the point where it's
for an individual.
It's
an individual.
Sure. So
not
like
for a team.
So for example, like I think that a high school football player going and playing in college is a big change. Yeah. I think because it's faster football, it's stronger football, all of that kind of stuff. I think. Obviously, the major leagues, you're not going from high school to the MLB unless you're Bryce Harper, right? Like,
well, even then,
you have to play. You have to work your way up, and unless you're Bryce Harper
from high school to the MLB in baseball,
Bryce Harper went from high school, played maybe a few games in the minors, and got pulled straight up to the majors. Like he was starting a major league game when he was 18 years old. Like he's a freak, right? Basketball, we saw it. LeBron went from high school to the NBA. Kobe, high school to the plenty of players have done it. You can't do it now.
Actually, not a lot have succeeded at it.
Plenty enough.
Plenty have done it, but you can't do it anymore. Well, would Bronny, if you were allowed to?
No.
Would he?
No.
I don't think.
Well, that's where I was going to go. My opinion on it is this: one, people are being hypercritical, but I have not seen anything negative come out about Bronny.
That's the hypercritical, whether it's positive or negative.
But like
right?
with Archie Manning, you see both sides, right? Yeah. With Bronny, you're seeing a lot of just positive things.
Yeah,
he's a big boy. He's a big boy.
He's 6'2".
He can throw down the basketball. He can shoot. Like he can move.
Here's the issue.
He's good.
He's a big boy compared to high school because he's 6'2", 180. So here's my thing. If you could still
get, what the struggle is going from level to level. You might be big in high school at 6'2".
Like me, I was a big, but I would have been a guard.
In college, you would have to move.
I always think about that. I'm like, if I were to have played from high school to college, I would have been a power forward to a shooting guard, or even a point guard in the NBA. Like that's the size. Like I'm Steph Curry's height. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy to me. Bronny James 100% would not make it from high school to the NBA today. a player who would is Zion Williams.
He would have, yeah.
He's one of those players that would have made it from high school straight to the NBA. He was big enough. He was fast enough. He was athletic enough. In my opinion,
strong enough. Like he was stronger than the NBA players.
Bronny started getting these. Like he was last year. He was averaging like 10 points in high school. Which he's playing at a very good high school where there's a lot of top prospects. But if you're averaging 10 points in high school and you're getting offers from Duke and Kentucky and Kansas, it's probably because your dad is LeBron James. Now this year he's done a little bit better, and I haven't seen him play. I've seen highlights.
He's kind of grown into his athleticism. Like 2 years ago, he wasn't the most athletic. I think 2 years ago he dunked for the first time.
So right now he's projected to go 10 to the Orlando Magic. I think if he were to come out of high school right now, he would be a top 10 pick because of his dad. I think he would be late second to third if he wasn't LeBron James' son. Right now, out of high school, right?
Right.
Let's say he improves a little bit in college. He does a little bit better. I think his ceiling, based on what we've seen from him, would be maybe middle to low first round.
Yeah.
That would be his ceiling. If I had to guess his projections and where he was to go, if he wasn't LeBron's son and if he improved from now to college and did, because honestly, he'll go 1 year in college and go to the NBA.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do that if he was not LeBron James' son. Because there are players who have to play 1, 2, or 3 years
right now
just to get the practice and the experience in with playing these older guys, right? And so I think it bugs me because I haven't seen a lot of it. And I actually like what Stephen A. They asked this on First Take, and they were talking about it. Stephen A. said that he has not seen Bronny play. And he says it's kind of on purpose because he hears all this noise about whether or not it's because he's LeBron's son or if it's other reasons. And he doesn't want to get into it because he doesn't want to give unnecessary attention to his son.
Yeah,
which is fair, which I really like.
That's where like with Archie again.
Exactly. He was saying obviously it happens because it just does, but it's also unfair to the kid because if he's not LeBron's son, he's not getting this attention.
Yeah.
And so it's putting this unnecessary, because for Bryce, his youngest son, he'll have pressure, but he's not going to have the pressure of having to live up so that he can make it to play with his dad. I mean, he'll probably make it to the NBA because he's LeBron's son, but he's 6'7", he's athletic, he's what, freshman or sophomore?
Is he 6'7"?
I think so. He's 15 years old.
6'6".
6'6". So still growing. But I just think people need to let it play out how it's going to play out. Because I can personally tell you, I have never seen projected draft placement for 2 years in advance other than for Bronny. You always see projections for the next year or the year that you're going into. I've never
Bronny's
seen
a senior in high school.
Yes,
right?
but I've never seen it for 2 years in advance until it was LeBron James' son. Because everybody wants to be the first person to talk about that. Everybody wants to have the scoop on it. Yeah. Of course he's going to go top 10 because people want him. I
personally think it's a disservice to the kid.
And so I think people just need to let it run its course and see where he's at and let him improve.
After he plays in college.
Has he
or first
committed?
game.
Yeah.
No. First college game.
He'll probably go to
just give it.
He'll probably go to Ohio State, I would think. Just because that's where his dad would have gone. That's Ohio is home, right? I think that's where he'll go. I think it would be cool if he did.
Unless he goes somewhere in LA.
Where in LA? UCLA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah. But you also kind of want to get out of your dad's shadow. I would want to get out of that shadow as much as possible.
He didn't go anywhere in.
What?
What do you mean his shadow? He didn't...
Like if he's staying in LA to play college, where his dad is also playing in the NBA, I want to get away from that. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean he visited UCLA.
Yeah, I mean I could see either one. I can see any schools. I can
Oregon,
see
Ohio
State.
USC,
I can see USC,
Kentucky.
UCLA, Kentucky. I can see any school.
So there's only 6 schools who have offered.
Okay, USC, Oregon,
Ohio State, Michigan, Memphis, Kentucky.
Supposedly, he's narrowed it down to 3, which is USC, Oregon, and Ohio State.
Interesting.
So I see him going to Ohio State. That's my prediction because, again, that's where his dad's from. I think that'd be cool. That's where his dad said he would have gone if he went to college. People need to let him go live his life there and improve there and let the coaches take care of him there. And also that'll obviously he'll still have his dad's money. He'll still have the improvements that his dad can help him with. But LeBron James needs to let him go to college and be in college.
No shot.
He needs to let him go, right?
No
he needs to
shot,
let
though.
him go there, have the coaching staff take care of him there. When he's in LA, you can help him, get him whatever he needs. But when he's in college, keep your hands off. Let him improve.
The other thing that Bronny needs to do is he needs to kind of bring it down himself a little bit.
I mean, he's his dad's son.
He's
so
talented. He's obviously talented enough to be looked at. Whether or not he's LeBron's
Gen
son.
Z, right? Like social media is
Yeah.
in their blood. He's also LeBron's son, who is LeBron.
Yeah. Whether or not he's LeBron's son,
he's not going to calm it down. He should, but
he's talented enough to at least be in the NBA, whether it's G League or the NBA. Now, he'll obviously be in the NBA, but they just need to let it run its course.
Yep.
Is G League considered NBA?
It's like the minor leagues.
I know. I just didn't know that it was like. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because you can have a 10-week
because minor leagues isn't
contract.
considered
You can have
MLB, even though you're like.
Yeah, but you can have a 2-way contract in the NBA where you're signed to both teams and you have to spend a certain amount of times on both.
Gotcha.
So I mean, you're kind of right. It's not really the NBA, but it's the closest you can get to the NBA without being there. So yeah, I think that's my biggest opinion on it is just to let the kid, let him grow.